Welcome back to the deep dive. We've got some really fascinating sources lined up today, taking us somewhere pretty unique.
That's right. We're diving into the Andaman and Nicobar Islands and, looking at the material, the first thing that strikes you is just where they are, way out in the Bay of Bengal.
Yeah, actually closer to Southeast Asia, places like Myanmar, Thailand, than mainland India. It's quite something.
Exactly.
So, okay, let's get into it. The sources describe this huge chain of islands, like 572 of them.
That's the number. But the interesting thing is only about 38, give or take, are actually inhabited, according to these documents.
And they're split, aren't they? You've got the Andamans in the north, Port Blair is the main center there.
Correct. And then the Nicobar group further south, with Car Nicobar as its kind of administrative point.
Got it. So our aim here, just using the material provided, is to sort of unpack all that. What do these islands really represent?
Yeah, peeling back the layers, history, culture, the amazing nature, and maybe the less obvious strategic side too, all based just on what's in front of us.
Absolutely. And history. Oh, wow, it looms large in these sources. The cellular jail in Port Blair pops up immediately, Kala Pani.
It does. It's presented as this really stark symbol, isn't it? Colonial times, the independence struggle. You feel the weight of it in the descriptions.
Definitely. But that wasn't the only tough period, was it?
Yep.
The sources also mentioned the Japanese occupation, World War II.
Right. Another really complex layer to their history. Seems these islands have seen a lot of external powers come and go.
Okay, shifting gears a bit. Something else really unique highlighted in the material is the presence of these ancient tribal communities.
Oh, absolutely. Groups like the Sentinelese, the Jarawas, Onjis, Great Andamanese, Champins too. Very distinct cultures.
And the sources are very clear about their protection, right?
Yeah.
Especially for groups like the Sentinelese.
Extremely clear. North Sentinel Island, for example, is mentioned as being completely off limits. The documents stress this protection is, vital for their survival and their way of life. It's a stated policy.
And that protection theme seems to carry over into the natural environment, too. The descriptions of biodiversity are, frankly, incredible.
They really are. You read about these vibrant coral reefs, dense mangrove forests, so important, and just lush tropical rainforests packed with life.
It sounds stunning. And some spots are apparently world famous. Red Hanagar Beach on Havelock Island comes up.
It does, yeah. Highlighted as one of Asia's best beaches in the material we have. And Havelock itself is mentioned repeatedly. Seems like the place for diving, snorkeling, clear water, lots of marine life.
Which leads us naturally to tourism. It's not just untouched nature or, somber history. The sources talk about quite a range of things for visitors.
Yeah, beyond the cellular jail visit, and they mentioned that light and sound show, there you've got places like Ross Island or those limestone caves at Baratang.
And for the more adventurous types?
Well, the material lists things like snorkeling, obviously, but also sea walking and even checking out bioluminescence on some beaches at night. So a mix of relaxing and more thrilling stuff.
So if you weave all that together, the unique location, the deep history, these protected cultures and environments, the tourism, what else did the sources point to? What's the bigger picture?
Well, kind of woven through the material, though maybe less flashy, is their strategic importance. It keeps coming up subtly.
How so?
Their position. Smack in the Bay of Bengal, right near major international shipping routes, close to Southeast Asia. That makes them pretty critical for India's maritime interests. Defense, trade route monitoring.
Ah, okay.
Oh.
And the sources mentioned Port Blair hosting India's only tri-service command. Army, Navy, Air Force, all integrated there.
Exactly. That detail alone really speaks volumes about their strategic role, doesn't it?
It really does. A couple of other small details stood out from the documents too, like how getting between islands is mostly by ferry, not roads. Really emphasizes that island life.
Yeah, very maritime. And the other thing was this recurring mention of aiming for zero pollution, clean air, clean water being a focus in how things are managed or developed there.
Right. So connecting all these threads from the sources, you get this picture of a place that's incredibly multifaceted.
Definitely. It's history, it's stunning nature, sensitive cultures, adventure, and this underlying strategic, quiet importance, all shaped by being these islands,
So just to recap from the sources, we've seen the heavy historical weight of cellular jail and WWII, the truly unique and protected indigenous groups, the incredible biodiversity seen in places like Havelock, the mix of tourism from historical sites to diving, and that significant strategic position.
And those unique aspects like relying on ferries, the push for environmental cleanliness, it all paints a really distinct picture based on the material provided.
It shows a place with deep roots and this amazing natural and cultural wealth. Which kind of leaves us with a final thought, based purely on what we've seen in these sources. Given all this richness, the culture, the biodiversity, the strategic value, how do these islands navigate that tension? Between welcoming people and needing to protect their unique heritage, their environment, especially those protected tribal communities and that pristine nature. It's something to really think about.